Yep.
Halt. That hurts.
Okay.
I'm sorry, so now I go down the field. Thank you. Heel.
Talk to me about for me, it could have been
Hey! Hey!
Heel. Halt.
All right, here we go. IPO3 protection phase. During the blind search, during the blind search itself, NASA became slightly unruly and required a second command in order to complete the search that brought this down to a good exercise. On the hold and bark, I'd like to, for y'all who are, maybe some of y'all are very experienced, this is where the judge gets the big bucks. Because if you have a little old skinny, 60-pound Malinois who, had too much coffee to drink this morning, the barks would be about every half a second. And this dog's barks were about one bark a second, with a little bit of kind of guttural hacking in between. That is a breed characteristic. That is not to be confused with a dog who doesn't have drive. It's just, this is a good old country boy dog, country girl dog, okay? So the barking displayed during the hold and bark was non-stop. It was continuous. It was rhythmic. It was serious. It was not, do I get to play tug of war with that thing on your arm? It was a true hold and bark. If you move, you're going to be sorry kind of hold and bark, which the judge likes to see that. A judge fears that a dog that he titles or gives a title to is really not what the judge thought it was. I'm pretty sure I got this dog figured out. There's no mistake. That was all business out there. And so on the Holden bark, the only comment that I would make for any kind of improvement would be that it took 2 voice commands to get the dog under control ultimately. There was a moment, about a half a second as you approached, that her head didn't move, but her eyes saw you coming. She says, I know you're there, but I got to take care of this guy. I know who puts food in my bowl. And so was totally focused physically, but knew when you were coming. In fact, the fact that the dog required a second command tells you that the focus was on the helper and not distracted excessively or abnormally by the handler's approach. Then we come to the escape. I just couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I thought, you know what, dude is going to get tested. He's going to get schooled today. And sure enough, NASA responded instantaneously with the pursuit and made a solid impact with about a 3/4 grip. Now, some folks wonder why we want a dog to have a full grip. That may almost seem curious why we want that. That is another police matter. When a police dog engages a human being, we want that dog to have a full grip so that the dog doesn't get shaken off. If the dog gets knocked off, you have these massive lacerations that the police dog gets blamed for. And it is not the police dog. You know, if the person wouldn't have ran in the first place, they'd have never got fanged. But especially if they struggle against the dog, if you have a pair of handcuffs on and you fight against them and pull your hand through, don't be surprised if there's some tissue damage there. So we want the dog to have a full grip. There's the least amount of tissue damage when there's a full solid grip and the person's jumping around, sometimes flopping around like a fish, and all you see is punctures and peripheral bruising, and that has bled over into the sport. And so to get full points, the dog has to have a full solid grip. That is, the term is a calm grip. Well, I don't really understand what that means, a calm grip, but a steady, stable grip. And the grip was steady, it was stable, it did not adjust, but it was not quite full, and so there's a minor deduction for that grip. This made this go down to a good exercise. Then on the defense, oh my goodness, dude got schooled again, and he has a newfound respect for this breed of dog because he can't bounce it around like he does a little old Ethiopian Malinois and flinging around and stuff. He got challenged today, and it's like in that one Knight's Tale movie or whatever. You've been tested. However, in all seriousness, I would like to say that our helper was extraordinarily skillful today. I know him from the past, and I'll get to him later. And I don't want you to think I'm really making too much fun of him. And if I didn't know him so well, I might be uncomfortable. But you know what? This lady has worked hard. It's her first dog. I need to validate her as much as I can because she's a rising star, I think.
Can you put that in the critique?
Yeah. Rising star.
So, for the defense, full points. That's a 20-point exercise. That's 1/5 of the entire protection phase right there. Then comes the back transport. NASA's a little bit energized at this point. And upon the helper receiving the instruction to move out, NASA says, hey, wait, I ain't finished here, and prematurely stood up. And NASA was thinking, does she really know what is she really going to let this guy go? And was stayed in position, but was not compliant to your instructions. and even in the beginning of, in the initiating of the front transport, was forging. And then after the left turn was made, settled down, and thought, okay, I know what's going on here. If I just hang out here a minute, he's going to come back out. I've been here before, and sure enough, the premature stand and the forging caused the back transport to go down to good. Then came the attack on the dog, and it was spontaneous response. Unfortunately, the spontaneous response was not followed up by, this massive impact, which this dog would be capable of. I was wondering if the dog was going to maybe run right through him and knock him off his feet. So was I. But what happened was, and you can see it pretty clearly on the video, she slowed up maybe 2 feet, 3 feet before the impact, and actually let him come to her that last 2-3 feet, which unfortunately is a substantial deduction for that. That is a 15-point exercise, so a more dynamic impact for an IPO3 is desired. Then, but actually, in this 15-point exercise, there was only a 2-point deduction for that, so it wasn't that bad. Don't be ashamed of your dog. Okay? Then came the then came the transport to the judge, and NASA was just a little bit unruly during that transport, and the transport to the judge turned into a transport to somewhere on this side of the judge, and so there was a minor deduction for that, but still that totaled up only 2 points for that. Now comes the attack on the dog out of motion, which is a 10-point exercise. Used to be more than that, but now it's a 10-point exercise. And NASA ran down the field, and I thought, oh, this is going to be ugly. And launched into the helper. Had a very dynamic impact, but again, the grip could have been more full. And everything was flawless, except wasn't quite a full grip. Now, a judge has to be very careful with a dog like this. This is not a long-nosed dog that is very easy to recognize, but I saw daylight, and if I see daylight between the teeth, then I know it's not a full grip. So that was of the 10-point exercise. There was 1 point lost. Could have been a fuller grip. Then came the defense after the guard there, and the combat was tremendous. He was working. Dog was working at the helper, and performed in an admirable way, with the exception that it was an identical grip. Could have been a little more fuller, but not much. But to get full points at this level, everything's got to be just right. And then even more so, unruly during the beginning of the transport, and then settled down and ended that. And so today, the phase C, or the protection score to date, is 91, with pronounced fighting instincts, obviously. And this brings, I'm gonna give some extra attention here because this is really pretty cool. This brings a final score of 100 points in tracking, 94 in obedience, 91 in protection, for a total of 285.
Got that, NASA?
Phew, it's over.